That's-
What's good, everybody? Welcome back to the next episode of the East of Stretford podcast. And we talk all things Manchester United. I'm bringing in Vishnu and Karthik. What up, boys?
What's up, guys?
What's up?
How's it going?
It's good. Just four
Yeah.
intros. Did you guys
Yeah.
like that? Was the energy there?
Trying still not to laugh. So it's a little hard to like just answer straightforward. But yeah.
Yes, fourth time is a charm. But today we're talking about, can Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba actually play together? There's been a lot of talk about Pogba actually staying. So will they be able to gel? They both play in similar positions and take up similar roles. Can they do it? The second thing we're talking about is Odion Ighalo's loan situation is ending up soon. Is he going to stay with us? Should we keep him? Do we want to keep him? Do we go after somebody else? Let's discuss. And the third thing is that we're talking about Timo Werner has been linked heavily to Man United recently. And I don't know what the boys are thinking about it. I think, Jadon Sancho has started to dip a little bit, but let's stop talking about it. Let's get straight into it. What up, boys? Karthik, how you doing?
Doing pretty good, man. How's it going?
Good. Vishnu, all good? Ready to go?
All good, all good. With a positive outlook today, let's go. Let's get started.
Yeah.
Let's get started. So, like I was saying, we're talking about Bruno Fernandes and Paul Pogba. They both like playing in the left side of midfield. They both take up similar positions. Can they gel? Will Pogba have to move back? Vishnu, what do you think?
It's a great question because currently Pogba seems to be fully fit and ready to lead the midfield for Man United once again. And with Bruno as well, and they haven't really played together. I think they've had 1 week of training together, and that's about it. In an interview recently as well, Solskjaer said that, well, good players can always play together. And no doubt, I think it's clear in our minds, at least for now, that Pogba is not going anywhere. He's going to stay. He's going to relish a new challenge that he has, that is to play with Bruno Fernandes. And yeah, I think this partnership is going to be fantastic, to be fair. Um, Pogba hasn't really featured in the game. He hasn't played since Boxing Day 2019. And with these two in and raring to go, I think the way it's because they're operationally similar, and Pogba's a bit more physical, whereas Bruno, I feel, out of the two, shows a bit more of attacking display. Um, like I think what Solskjaer is going to be looking for is what Pep Guardiola did with his first title win with Man City. That is like when he played Kevin De Bruyne and David Silva as number eights, and they were just like rotating with one another and swapping ends, and it was brilliant to watch because like it kind of negated the fact that like they can both ghost about and take each other's positions whenever they want. So I think Ole is going to look for a similar sort of formation. It'll be more like a 4-4-2 diamond or like a 3-4-2-1, which is what we used in our last two games against Everton and Man City. So in the 4-4-2 diamond sort of thing, like Bruno Fernandes would be playing the number 10 role and more attacking, where he'll be guarding the last final third, whereas like Pogba will play on like a slightly left midfield position, feeding the balls through. Or if we're using the 3-4-2-1 formation, I think Pogba could be used as a number 10 role with two of like with the players with Fred, McTominay, or Matic, like one of the two of them. Whereas like Bruno can just like ghost about and feed balls into the center midfield and like everything else. So I think like this partnership is very, very exciting, and I'm so ready to watch these guys like dominate the Premier League. They are undoubtedly two of the best midfielders in the world, and yeah, who knows? I think Solskjaer can really get the best out of them.
Karthik, what do you think, man? Like, how are we going to line up with the two of them in? How are we going to play? Because, they both really do take up similar positions, man. How are we going to do this?
They do, and I think that's a little bit of a concern for me as well. I do see. I mean, I agree. I mean, Ollie's also. I mean, the last interview I heard of Ollie's as well, he seemed to be looking forward to having Pogba and And Pogba also, on the other hand, has been doing a lot of marketing for us or whatever. But we've seen a lot of podcasts, a lot of him working out with the United jersey and stuff like that. So it seems like he's keen to return to the team and play with Bruno. So I think it's more of a mentality situation here. If Pogba is willing to, Pogba, like something like what Pogba played for in a similar position, like he played for France with Griezmann in a more attacking, like they had a more Griezmann and then Giroud in front of him, right? I think that was the formation. So I think Pogba is capable of doing that, but I also feel like if um, we could, I don't see why we couldn't have a more of just like what Vishnu said about De Bruyne and a very similar De Bruyne and Silva sort of a situation where they keep rotating amongst this position. And agreed, Pogba has played more defensive lately, especially Mourinho and stuff. But I think he can definitely push forward. And yeah, dude, I think honestly, it's just a matter of mentality. Both of these players are willing to play if Pogba understands Bruno and Bruno understands Pogba. I think Silva and De Bruyne had that fantastically.
Yeah.
The dynamics and the chemistry between them was just incredible. Like, they just knew what to do. So yeah, I think Bruno, I feel like, is a player who could play with anyone, but Pogba, we've seen it before as well. Like, if he's not in the right mindset, then we could see like a clash of egos or something. And Bruno, for a fact, plays for the team, and Pogba needs to start doing that. Yeah, but again, fantastic, probably top quality midfielders. We have these two players at our disposal, so why the fuck we should try and use them? Yeah, so yeah, I'm leaning more towards that formation, considering. I mean, we're going to talk more about the transfer market later on as well, so we'll get there. But yeah, right now I feel like we have good options, and especially with Matic, McTominay, Fred, all of them have. Even Matic has sort of stepped up recently, so that's great. So yeah, dude, I mean, I'm totally looking forward to it. I mean, honestly, I just want fucking football to just start it. I don't care who plays anymore, man. Just give me back. That's all I want.
Yeah, the Bundesliga is coming back, man. May 16th. Dude, I'm excited. But on this, I think that France example is perfect because Griezmann plays a similar role to Bruno. Bruno's a little bit more flexible, going back and forth, but they occupy similar positions. But the thing is, Pogba is gonna have to be fucking disciplined to stay in Man United and to be successful here because he's gonna have to be a box-to-box midfielder. There's no more of this like him free roaming everywhere because that is what Bruno is here for. Let Bruno do his thing. Pogba, man, you are 6 foot something. You're strong as hell. Probably the fittest and best technically in the Premier League. He can play that position where he just bosses like the Yaya Toure used to do, for Man City. And I hate that we're fucking referencing Man City in this podcast to go to, but he can play that role, man. And I think, what I was just thinking about while you were talking, Karthik, was what if we went fucking old school and we're like 4-4-2 with just Bruno and Pogba in the middle? Because both of them can run a shit ton and occupy like a similar role to Scholes and Keane, but just that do a lot more. We may be fucking lax defensively, but maybe against smaller teams, we can push in that way. So yeah, for me, I think there's no way Pogba's leaving. I think nobody can afford him right now. Juventus GM came out saying nobody can afford him. So for us, we have to figure this out. We have a boss-ass midfield. I would personally go Fred, Pogba, and Bruno. But what would you guys do? Would you guys start Pogba when we get back in, or would you make him work for it? Because he's been a little bit of a drama queen in the media. Vishnu,
I don't think we have any more I think we should just put all this ego aside and then just slot him in, man, because I think we've all discussed this as well. We've said that he is one of the greatest midfielders in the world, and he's tactically gifted, he's technically really good, he's physical. These are the attributes that really work in the Premier League as well. And if you've got someone like that and you don't want to waste more time bruising the fact that he's not really been disciplined or he's been talking shit or with the whole thing about his agent and stuff. I think at the end of the day, Solskjaer trusts Pogba, and he said that, when you're ready, you're ready. And I think just slot him straight in, man, because I can't wait to see this partnership
I
between these
can't
two.
either.
I
It's
really,
gonna be
really just
insane.
want to see these two play.
It's gonna be
Because,
mad.
even like Brunos, they've played against each other in the Serie A. And in like a recent interview, Bruno's like come out and said that, I'm very excited to be playing with Pogba and stuff. He's got like a bad rep because people expect a lot from him, and he's put Pogba in the same expectation level as like Messi and Ronaldo and stuff like that. And it's he also said that, like, people forget all the good games that you've played if you've just done one stupid thing. And like Pogba has been riddled with controversies, and he's been in the news on and about. And we've heard his podcast as well. So like, I think, why waste time? Because I feel like Pogba is very confident that his relationship with Solskjaer and the players are really good, and that's what I get from the rest of the players as well. They've all like defended Pogba, so like, fucking slot him right in, and then let's see the magic happen, boys.
Yep.
Of course.
I think it's gonna be big. I think it's gonna be big. Quick thing, Karthik. What would you do? Would you bring him straight back in, or would you make him work for it?
I would say just put him back in. Let's see how it goes the first game. I have to agree with Rich. Let's just see how it goes. Like, fuck it, man. We're all dying for some entertaining football. Like, either we get really good football or we get some good drama. Fuck it.
Yeah. And dude, with Rashford back in, man, I'm fucking excited.
Yeah. I just wish. I mean, it depends on a lot of factors, obviously. Like, if he's how he's in training once they come back and stuff, how the team's getting along. I think the whole team needs to like kind of get back on. Because it's been a long break, and again, don't know when it's. So, yeah.
Right. So yeah, we're all on the same page. Bring Pogba back in straight away when he's ready. Number two, the second thing we're talking about today is Odion Ighalo. His contract is running out. He's on a loan deal. He has come out on the Man United podcast saying, obviously, I would love to stay here. And obviously, I want to be successful here. And he's been the way he talks about Man United just makes fans so happy, because he's clearly someone that wants to be here. And he talks up all of our players. He talks up Bruno. He talks up Martial, who's his direct competitor, saying that he's most impressed with him. So, Karthik, I want to start with you. Do we bring in another center forward, or do we trust the two as Ighalo and Martial as our front two?
Dude, I think we need to give Ighalo a little bit more of a chance. I don't think letting him go right now is a good idea at all, because we know the struggles we have had with a center forward this entire season. So now we have someone who feels like instinctually like he just knows how to be a good striker. He's powerful, he's strong, and he can come off the bench and still perform. So yeah, I mean, I've always been a pro Martial, pro Ighalo sort of a guy. Like, I like both of them in the team. I wouldn't go with even bringing in another striker. I don't think that's where we need someone right now. And yeah, dude, I mean, Ighalo, every time he's come down, I mean, he's yet to score in the Premier League, so I think he deserves that opportunity as well. And it's too soon to let him go. Like, I don't think we've made complete use of him. Like, he's shown like great sparks of potential. Like, in every game he's come on, he's performed. So it would be unfair to let him go. And if we do let him go, I don't think I'll ever understand it. Like, I'm completely against the idea of letting Ighalo go. I think he's a great fit for the team, and he's done well. So yeah, fuck yeah.
Yeah, Vishnu, what about you, dude? What would you do?
Okay, quickly, first, we're talking about keeping him to the end of the season, right? And not for the next season.
No, next season.
For next season.
End of the season, he's already staying for sure.
Okay. No, because like his contract expires on the 30th of June, 2020 with us. And like he did come out on the podcast and say, yo, I really want to be a part of this. I want to see the season through. And he's been in good form. He's been making good runs, man. He almost scored like in his debut game against, who was it? I think it was City, right? In his first 3 minutes or something in the Premier League. So he's impressed me so much as well. Ighalo is brilliant. Like, his current market value is 5.2 million euros, which is like quite decent as well. And if you're thinking long term, then yeah, I'm not entirely sure, but we definitely need him till the end of this season, especially because I'm not sure how fit Marcus Rashford is. And say if we have to start the season next week, I'm not sure Rashford is like fit enough, like completely, to play on. And Ighalo presents himself as a great opportunity. He's a complete striker as well. His touches are beautiful. He's a one-touch pass player. We've seen him score goals against his 4 goals he scored in the Europa League and in the FA Cup. Yeah, I think we definitely have to keep him at least to the end of the season. I don't think we need him after though.
Why? Why don't you think, like, for next year, who would you bring in?
I still think that if we can, first of all, Mason Greenwood, as this is one thing that was very weird for me as well, because I expected Mason Greenwood to start a lot more games when Rashford was injured, but he did not do that because we played Brandon Williams and Luke Shaw on the left hand side. So Luke Shaw had the ability to like play as a wing back a lot, which kind of took away the left side position. So Martial could play as a CF. But I think that if we get Mason Greenwood in, we don't even have to do that. We can be a bit more like we can have a bit more focus on defense as well. Whilst Martial and Greenwood play in like a swapping left attacking left midfield and like a CF position. So, but my only thing is like injury concerns, right? So I think we should like invest in like if we're looking for that kind of strategy, and especially if we're playing both Bruno and Pogba, you need like a world class finisher who will take every single opportunity. And I just don't think Ighalo cuts that.
Yeah, I see where you're coming from. I see where you're coming from. For me personally, I think that regardless of whether we bring in another center forward or not, I think we just keep Ighalo and extend his contract out because right now, if we don't get another center forward, right, we're stuck with, like you said, Martial and Greenwood. Martial gets injured a decent amount over the last few years, and Greenwood cannot lead the line by himself, especially next year where the games will be much more condensed because we're going to have a shorter season. He's not like nobody can do that on their own.
That's a very good point.
So
yeah.
I think just have Ighalo there. He's going to be fine to be even third player. He's just happy to be there. So if we bring in go ahead.
Oh no, sorry, dude. No, what I was saying is I think he's a great, even as a long-term backup option, like to have someone like Ighalo, and even his needs as a player is not that high. Like he's not expecting a lot. He knows he's in a big club like Manchester United. He's just grateful to play for Manchester United. So, and so I think every time you're giving him an opportunity, I feel like he's taken it. So I kind of disagree with that point where I feel like he is a good enough striker who can come off from the bench and still produce goals. And I think I don't think we've had someone like that in a very long time. Like so it's great to have someone like that. I feel like, yes. Yeah,
dude. I think I agree with that. Ighalo off the bench, he's a good player.
Yeah.
At the start, I was saying, dude, what the fuck are we doing? Like, we had the chance to bring in Musa Dembele, Haaland, and we fucked up and got a guy from the Chinese league. But he's proved us wrong. He's very grateful to be here. I personally would keep him. Potentially thinking about bringing another center forward because Martial is up and down. And I agree with you, Vishnu. I think Bruno and Pogba supplying like a Lewandowski, a Kane, that would be fucking ridiculous. But a little bit unfeasible at this time.
Yeah.
So I think but who are a few players if we were to bring them in? Which strikers would you be looking at, Karthik? Who do you think?
I think Vishnu should go first on this one.
Okay.
Yeah.
There's we've got a couple of links with Harry Kane was a great interest recently. I think Bruno and Pogba feeding it to Harry Kane is like a dream come true. Then imagine if Sancho's there in that lineup as well. That's ridiculous. But I feel like again, when you're talking about when we're still forgetting Rashford. Like Rashford is still our key striker. So we just if we're not considering him, I think we should go for maybe a Gimenez or Raul Gimenez. He's a good option as well. Or even, I strongly still want this to happen. Edinson Cavani. I want Cavani in my fucking team.
Yeah. Yeah.
I would just love Jimenez, to be honest. Like
Yeah.
he'll cost us 50 million, and he is so fucking good on the counter attack, dude. He's the reason why Wolves who have been such a counter attacking team, have been able to finish. He just needs one chance. He'll nail it, and he'll even compete with Martial for the starting spot.
Easily, for sure. If we get, Jimenez is a great option. I don't know, other big strikers I can possibly think of will be either Martinez. I think Martinez would be fantastic for us, but
Yeah,
I feel like he's again like a very
he's
Jimenez
going to
type
Barca.
player. Yeah, no, he's probably going to Barca. So, but it hasn't happened yet. So
Yeah.
that's an option. Yeah, I mean, other than that, dude, we've been linked with the whole Timo Werner link thing was also interesting, but I don't know if that's also happening. Off the top of my head, I can't really think about a lot of um, strikers right now who, apart from maybe Kane and Jimenez is a great option too. I think he's a more plausible option. Like, I don't think, yeah.
You guys don't think we should start Mason Greenwood more?
More, but not every game. Just for him, I don't think we should.
I think he needs someone else. I don't mind him starting, but he definitely needs a more the need to play with someone more like if you get in like a Jimenez or someone like I can see him playing with.
But we've got Rashford. Like why
Yeah.
would we need anyone else? Like
Because
and,
Rashford's not a center forward. He drifts in from the left, and he
Yeah.
prefers that now.
Yeah.
So I think again,
He's
Martial
playing
not really a
fantastically from the
full.
left.
Yeah.
I don't see why we need to move him into a more striker position. Like I think he should play where he is, and Martial I think has worked on his striker abilities this season. We've seen like moments of just sheer brilliance from this man, like especially the Man City goal. We can't forget that. That was pure striker instinct. The run, the finish, all of that. So I mean, and Greenwood. I also see Greenwood playing as a very like I don't know. I was thinking about this today. Like Greenwood could play like a false nine, sort of something like what Firmino.
Yeah.
Because he's got a great fucking left foot, right foot. Like he can take shots from outside the box. He makes great runs into the box. So I think that would be. I haven't seen him play in that position yet, but that would be really interesting. Maybe that could work out. And
I think he's gonna get the game time, dude. There's so many games. He can play cam, like you said, center forward, right wing, and left wing. So I think even with that, we just gotta beef it up because Greenwood's not really gonna scare Martial into like, man, I'm gonna lose my spot. But maybe someone like Jimenez would, I feel. But I think, Karthik brought this up, and let's transition into this. Timo Werner is starting to randomly be heavily linked to us. Bild, who's a they're a very credible journalism platform in Germany, and they're coming out saying that, Timo Werner is talking to Man United. And my thing here, I just want to start off with, he comes off the left as well, and so does Martial, and so does Rashford. All of them are not pure center forwards. So I don't see how this makes sense at all. Vishnu, I'll hand it over to you. What do you think?
Yeah, you're absolutely right, man. I think one of them will have to migrate into a different position, or at least learn to adapt into a different position, because we are talking about different leagues here as well. Like for RB Leipzig, Werner's been really good. He scored 88 goals in 150 appearances. He's only 24 years old, so he's got a long way to go. And like I feel like right now he's looking for a club that can give him that, maybe for like, a 5-year contract. So I think Manchester United, and Chelsea have made contacts with his agent in an attempt to like understand what he wants. And Leipzig are also happy to let him go if he wants to leave the club at the end of the summer. The only thing is he's got a 52.7 million release clause, which we can like no doubtedly match. But there's been a lot of rumors that I think he'd fit in actually. Like in a way, I think Rashford's comfortable more playing in the left-hand side, and if Martial is on that attacking, we can even play two strikers. And Bruno will just have to accept the fact that he's going to be a left-hand like LF or something like that, left-hand forward. which might work. I don't know what Solskjaer's got plans for him or anything. It might work for him, but I've heard that he's waiting for an offer from Liverpool more than anyone else. He's been like, Liverpool have made it clear that they're not gonna make an attempt to sign anyone until they understand the financial, they understand what's going to happen to the finances after this whole situation that's happening. So yeah, it doesn't seem likely to me at all. Maybe about 10-20% chance that Werner has got a genuine interest to join Man United.
Karthik, what do you think?
Yeah, I agree with Vishnu too, man. I mean, he's a fantastic talent. He's but again, like what you said as well, Arman, like I don't see him. I just feel like bringing in a player and okay, now Werner is really good coming in from the left, and that's how he's got most of his goals. And now if we put him in that position, we're asking one of our players like Rashford or Martial to go more central. Say that's the case. Now we're making players who have already adapted to a certain way of playing. We're asking them to change again. I think this is what's been happening with Man United as well. Like we bring in players who play in similar positions and ask our existing players to adapt differently again. So people who are starting to get used to a style of football, I don't think we should keep changing that. If anything, we should get Werner in, and probably the only way, then we should just play him strictly as a striker, and have Rashford play on the left. Because I don't see, right now for me, Rashford has been shining in that position, and just moving him somewhere else from there, it doesn't make sense. It's just, yeah.
Yeah, I fucking hate this transfer, to be honest. I would be so pissed off if he came. Like you said, it's just like bring in a superstar and put him wherever and let's accommodate. The reason why Liverpool are fucking good is because they have put in pieces that fit the puzzle, the Jurgen Klopp puzzle, Andy Robertson, Trent Alexander-Arnold. These guys who fit a system who were not superstars before Klopp. So that's what I would like. I would rather bring in someone who actually fits the role. And to be honest, what I think is happening is we're doing a mutually beneficial thing with RB Leipzig. We're coming in so that Liverpool are a little bit scared. Shit, we got to move. Someone else is going to buy him. And at the same time, we have now a little bit of negotiation power with Jadon Sancho and Dortmund. We'll say, okay, look, if you don't want to come, we're going to bring in another superstar at half your price. So we're fine. Take our 100 million or shut the fuck up. You know what I mean? So I think that gives both Leipzig and United a little bit of power to negotiate a little bit. So I can't see this happening at all. And I
wouldn't understand. I don't think Ollie is too keen on this either. I don't see him leaning towards this. But I don't know, man. Our transfer windows always surprise us.
I'll just be happy to have all our graduates play because we already got Rashford in, we got Greenwood, got Scotty McTominay, and these guys are academy graduates who are doing such a good job. And they're bossing the positions and they're owning it, and I just want to see more people like that. So maybe, the likes of Joel Garner or that'll be cool.
I hope fucking Tuanzebe owns that shit, dude. He could be the next captain after Maguire. But that's a little bit of a tangent. I think that's a good place to end up. Everybody, if you liked the content, please consider subscribing. We're going to be coming back with content like this every week, at least once a week. We're going to be a little bit more frequent, right, boys?
Yeah, for sure. I mean, we've gotten a little lazy because of the amount of time we have on our hands. But yeah, I mean, for sure.
We're going to push it. We're going to push it. So thank you, everybody, for tuning in. Please make sure to subscribe. Like the video if you liked the content. It would mean a lot to us. Share it with all your Man United friends. So yeah, everybody, thank you so much for tuning in. See you in the next one.
Peace out, guys.